Herc, what did we learn from the first El Trafico of 2024?
Nothing we didn't already know. I mean, we knew that when it comes to El Trafico, it didn't matter who was doing well, who was not. Usually it was LAFC doing well and the Galaxy not. And then anybody could win. We knew that there would be goals in this game. Yeah, the 2.5 covered as well. There were some goals. We knew that there would be end-to-end action and controversial plays. It's El Trafico in a nutshell. Here's what I will say. I'm bummed on a few things about El Trafico. I'm in this beautiful place in Hawaii and in this resort, and take it for what it's worth. Lot of soccer paraphernalia that I saw, and was Major League Soccer paraphernalia. I saw a lot of Seattle Sounder gear, and this is a true story.
Of course you did.
A lot of this is not true story. The major sports that I saw were soccer and baseball, and they were either from Seattle or Los Angeles. I saw a bunch of Sounder gear. I saw one guy wearing a San Jose Earthquake a shirt and a few Galaxy merchandise around there. But nowhere to be found was the actual game. Nowhere to be found here was the actual game. I couldn't watch the game. And for Major League Soccer selling it as the marquee rivalry they have in this league, to not be able to watch it while still in the United States was pretty bumming for me. So I had to wait to watch it when I got back. That is my first overall take there. I heard nothing about it over there. Not that you would want to hear about it when you're on vacation. All right. What do we find out about both teams? Let me start off with the Galaxy. They're atrocious on set pieces. I believe it's the 6th goal they've given up on set pieces this season, and we're only in April. It's a 6th goal. That's horrendous. What else? Another Achilles heel they have is depth. Jalen Neal, nowhere to be found, still injured. I don't even know from what. I've not heard from the kid all year. Cáceres, 35, 36-year-old Cáceres, injured as well. Zarek Zabaleta, who was the backup to Cáceres, who scored just recently, he got injured as well. So Edwin Cerillo, who's all of 5'9", I think you're that height, by the way, so playing center back out of position. And to his credit, didn't do it badly. Actually played decent for what it is and what he could do. And yet you were left underwhelmed from the Galaxy. And I don't want to say they were nullified by LAFC, because I wasn't impressed by LAFC and the tactics, but they were in the end victorious. And this was marred by a call, and we'll get to that in a second. But just in general, LAFC, for a guy as Steve Cherundolo, who I very much enjoy as a coach, who I very much enjoy as a spokesman for the league, for how much Steve Cherundolo complains about the roster rules and relegations and loosening up the purse strings to spend and wanting more talent on the field, for having one of the most star-studded rosters in Major League Soccer. Wow, this was an abysmal showing. Just the tactics in this match, having all 10 field players 35 yards in front of your own goal and pretty much parking the bus and defending, which was very effective, because if you take away, and this could be said for LAFC as well, if you take away the Galaxy's transitional play, it's play on the wings. If Payne still can't run and can't find space, if Gabriel Peck, who's still trying to find his way in Major League Soccer, can't run at pace, these two players who aren't of the players of the brand to combine and to create in the final third, if you eliminate these players, if you eliminate Joveljic and limit him to his back to his goal, and if you frustrate Ricky Puig so he's coming off and picking the ball out of the center back's feet and he's 50 yards away from Joveljic, if you do these things, you can hurt the Galaxy. You can make them play in a way that doesn't suit them, doesn't suit the way they were construct this season. You will hurt them. The same could be said, for LAFC, who I think are a transitional team. But this turned out being an ugly game that LAFC, I thought, to their game plan, played it perfectly. And we'll get into the call, which I think changed the game drastically.
Yeah, ugly game maybe, but a fun game. And I think that's something that, for all your inability to find the game on television, needs to be said. This is a great rivalry, and these two teams always, Herc, seem to deliver. And maybe it's not just the teams, maybe it's the city itself, because the atmosphere at these games is always great. It's like you're watching a game in a cauldron, in a boiling pot. You're just waiting for something to simmer over. And yet it is, Herc, at the end of the day, what we come away talking from this is an atrocious call. Not only is that, I think, a mistake on the field, but it's a second mistake here from the referee. The VAR does their job. the VAR says, hey, buddy, you might want to go check this. He goes to the monitor and checks it, and even looking at it again, doesn't see it as what is obviously not a penalty, but beyond that, Herc, I think this is pretty clear. This is an example, like a textbook example of simulation. If this doesn't deserve a yellow card, forget the penalty. This deserves a yellow card for Bouanga. And so for him to, miss it live, we accept. That's why you have VAR. But to miss it once VAR has told you to go, that's a referee ego thing. And I know we wanted the real refs back, and I'm glad we have them.
Wait a second. These weren't the real refs?
Leave your ego at home. Leave your ego at home.
These aren't the replacement refs? These are not the replacement refs? What's going on here? This is what upsets me. Listen, it's the Galaxy today. It could be LFC tomorrow, and we'll still be having the same talking point. You didn't get it wrong once. You got it wrong twice. And the second go-around of getting it wrong is just as bad. It's even worse. The ability to not recognize a clear dive or simulation when you see it in front of you and have it change the game. Because in the end, this was the goal. This is the goal that won the game for LAFC. This is the play that decided the game. Now, people out there and say, well, LAFC still had more shots. LAFC still did this and that. You give a team like LAFC a goal advantage, and they will pick you apart. They want to play in transition. It plays to who they are, to their strengths, and they did that. They didn't want the ball. They let the Galaxy have it. The Galaxy, in need of chasing the game, committed numbers, and then from there, LAFC can pick them apart in transition. Why? Because they have a goal advantage. It clearly changes the game. Now, LAFC fans won't care and should not care. This is not on LAFC. This is not on their fans. This isn't even on Denny Bouanga, who should clearly have been booked here and not awarded a penalty kick. Clearly drags the leg in an attempt to create contact. I don't even know if contact was even made, but this should never be a penalty kick. Did it end up costing the Galaxy 3 points? I think so. Did the Galaxy have their limitations in this game? Sure, absolutely. But without a shadow of doubt, this is the play right here that changes the game, changes the outcome of this game. And pro referees, for everything that they've been dealing with this season, for the justice that I think they finally came to them, to have something like this to the actual referees, not the replacement refs. These weren't the replacement refs that had a second look at this and say, you know what, this is a foul. Oh, this is clearly a foul. Yeah, without a shadow of doubt, this is a foul. This was the actual referees, to have them be the ones to make this mistake. Wow.
First loss of the season for the Galaxy. Bit of a reality check, but Herc, I don't know that we didn't see the two best teams in the Western Conference there when it's all said and done.
Is it a reality check, though? I mean, in this game,
you lose your first game to your rival. Yes, you lose your first game to your rival in the city. It's a reality check. They were unbeaten before this, Herc.
Well, hold on a second. In this game, it's a coin flip to who wins, and we've seen that many times because I think form doesn't matter here. Form does not matter one bit. So I don't think it's a reality check. It's a reality check that they're not going to go the whole season unbeaten. So that's out the window there. They're just not a deep team, and they've got a lot of injuries right now, especially in that back line.
Yep. And we know teams that go far in the season also do exceptionally well on set pieces, right? That's right. All right, let's move on. Elsewhere in Major League Soccer. Well, you can't defend set pieces. It's not going to go very well for you. Inter Miami hosting the Colorado Rapids. Messi started the game on the bench, but he came on at the half and does what he always does, Herc, with a sick goal here in the 57th minute.
Yeah, if there was any doubts of his health. Oh, look at that. UFC champ right there. Any doubts of his health put to bed right here. A goal and an assist in this game. I even saw him diving around on his feet right there, sliding, trying to help defensively. He looked like he's back.
Yep. That goal made it 1-1. Colorado were actually up a goal at the half. As you mentioned, Messi helping set up Miami's second goal. We'll give it a hockey assist there. But Colorado actually got a goal late as the game ends in a 2-2 draw. Herc, we got CONCACAF Champions Cup this week. Second leg in Monterrey. What does Messi's return here against Colorado mean for that game?
Well, listen, a healthy Messi, on the field Messi, is a good thing for Major League Soccer. It's a good thing for Inter Miami. An angry Messi is a terrible thing for Rayados in Monterrey. Now, why an angry Messi? Now, we heard about the kerfuffle. How do you say it? Kerfuffle. Kerfuffle. Thank you. That's what your favorite word.
Yes.
That happened after the game. And then we start hearing things from Nico Sanchez, who now a former player of Monterrey, who now works within Monterrey as one of the coaches there. How Messi came this close to hit him in the face, wanted to react to him, wanted him to react, even called him a dwarf in his own words, el enano and whatnot. They got one of the guys that you should never get upset. They poked the bear of the biggest of bears that you don't want to go poking around. Now, we've seen angry Messi at the World Cup. That's not a guy that I want to play against. That's not a guy that I want to see on the field healthy. You gave this guy a reason to be ready midweek in a stadium that is a house of horrors for you when you most need it to be a place that's a fortress. Rayados at home has not exactly been the home fortress they would like it to be. I know they went away with an advantage, and that's a story for another day of how Inter Miami let that one slip away. But leaving a team like Inter Miami with the players they have offensively, giving them life and giving them something to play for with one of the all-time greats now angry and willing to play for it, that's a dangerous recipe for me. And I think they gave this team bulletin board material without needing to.
Listen, man, I go back to that first leg, and I just think when Rayados saw that Lionel Messi was not in the team sheet, they needed to go all in. They needed to look for a 2 or a 3-goal victory. And whether they went for it or not, they couldn't do it. You know, we know what Inter Miami is without Lionel Messi. They're not very good. And Rayados, all they could do against that Inter Miami was muster a 2-1 win in Fort Lauderdale. I look at this, Herc, and I see the difference between what Miami is with Lionel Messi and without. And I know that Rayados is good. And I know that on paper, by plantel, by roster, you could maybe make the case that they're the best team in North America. But it's still Messi against CONCACAF competition. I think he's worth at least 2 goals in this game, maybe 3 when we add the goals and the assists. I think Rayados are in trouble here. I don't think they're going to survive. Definitely not, Herc, against an angry Messi. I see Inter Miami going through. Do you agree?
Ooh, I would love to see Inter Miami go through. And could I see it? Absolutely. Do I think it'll happen? That'll be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
Why? What's your concern with Inter Miami, that their defense is just going to get shelled? Because that's my one worry.
Defensively,
I think they're going to get goals,
yeah.
But can they keep it out of their own net?
Can they keep it out of their net?
That's for you?
It's my worry. That's my worry, absolutely. Because when you commit numbers going forward, you leave yourself exposed in the back. And if Rayados has one thing, they have strength in transition. They're a horrible team to watch. For as much talent as they have on that roster, they play a despicable brand. Could I see Messi, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Busquets absolutely running riot in Monterrey? Yes, I can. Do I think it can happen? Yes, I do. No, I agree with you.
Let me give you one more thing. I agree with you. Dan Ortiz is not a guy to be trusted in a 2-leg affair.
Well,
That's more
Not only
ammo.
Dan Ortiz, and this is why I'm going to agree with you. There's a saying in Espanol, pecho fríos, like that. They don't feel it in the biggest of moments. They let you down. They're a team that lacks that passion. This is the MO with Rayados. This is the MO with this team as of late. Go back to the Vucetich years, who they just let go, by the way. Dan Ortiz, that's his MO as well. This team, in the biggest of moments, especially at home, cannot close the deal. Now, they're a favorite on paper, absolutely. But is there a scenario out there where Inter Miami, Tata Martino, Lionel Messi, who is absolutely angry right now, come into this stadium and rob them of the next phase of going through? Absolutely. Yes, I can see that as well.